but sex as a whole is not wrong. Even religiously, it's not wrong. Like, you guys are making it wrong by not informing your child, by not telling your child what it really is. That is the problem.
So basically, I just wanted us to have like a conversation about like why African parents, or why we don't have conversation or talk to our kids about like like sex, because I know growing up nobody told me nothing. Like, I remember when I got my periods and I was like, mommy, I peed blood. And then she was like, child, it's not blood. You're grown now. Don't make the boys touch you. That's the only conversation, we ever had. So, I mean, she showed me how to use pads, but when it came for her to actually sit me down and explain that, okay, you are at that age that if you do this, this can happen. You understand? So we skipped all of that. So then I just thought that you and I would have a conversation about that, and maybe you could also just from your angle, from the country that you come from, you could also share with us. But before that, let me allow you introduce yourself, hot stuff. You look so pretty.
Thank you. Okay, my name is Georgina Osamesil Sawe. I am known as Gina After Dark because that's what all my social media name is. What do I do on Instagram or on social media? I'm a writer. And what do I do? And just create content, I guess. I do everything. I just show myself in my own lifestyle.
What kind of writing do you do, honey?
What kind of writing do I do? I write about myself for starters, and I write about things people can relate to. And I also write erotic writing, but my erotic writing is mainly for like women. And in the sense that basically what we're kind of going to be talking about today, about how, because I remember before I started writing, I asked like a lot of my followers, and I was like, when do you think sex ends? And a lot of people was like, when the guy finishes. And that just kind of pissed me off. I'm like, women need to understand that sex is not just for the men, it's for them too. So I started writing an erotic story that was portraying that women need to be satisfied with sex and ask for what they want when it comes to sex, and there's nothing bad with them, having fantasies and having desires and stuff like that. So basically that's what I write about, just things that people can relate to, or things that people cannot relate to that they should relate to.
And let's just put a disclaimer out there that please do not go read Gina After Dark if you got no man. Honey, you'll be thirsty.
Or read it, and when you got your man, you know what to do.
Okay.
How about that?
So hi everybody, welcome back to Black and Blending. This channel is all about blending family, sex and relationship, and so much more. So I'm joined today by one of my favorite writers. You guys have already heard, I've been boasting about her. Today we're just basically going to be talking about why sex is a taboo in African homes. And so what do you think? Why do you think it's a taboo?
Well, first of all, I should have probably said that I am Nigerian American. So I was born in Nigeria and grew up in Nigeria for a little bit before I moved to the US.
Okay.
So I definitely have different perspective of, the African culture and like the Western culture and stuff like that.
Okay.
Why do I think talking about sex is such a big deal? I think Africans just believe, or maybe specifically, maybe Nigerians, because I don't want to speak for all the African countries. But it sounds like South Africa and Nigeria are pretty similar in sense of this topic, because you're South African and you're what?
Congolese.
Oh, you're Congolese? Oh, I thought you were South African. Oh, my bad. Okay.
That's
so
okay.
I feel like our culture are very similar in terms of this topic about sex, since you're talking about it and I'm talking about it. But I feel like, Africans don't talk about sex in the home because they feel like, what's that saying? Out of sight, out of mind. If you don't see it, if you don't talk about it, they're not going to think about it.
Okay.
So they feel like, bringing it up which means the person is going to do it. And I
it's
always
almost as
get
if you're
such,
encouraging it to happen.
yeah, and I always get such lashback as a grown woman on Instagram. People are just like, oh, you're talking about sex means you're having sex all the damn time, you know? It's like, oh, because you talk about it, it means that you're doing it. Not necessarily. You can have knowledge about stuff and not participate. I mean, people know about murder and they're not killing people out there. So it's just, it's knowledge. But I think that's the main reason Africans don't talk about it. Like, they think if they don't talk about it, it's not gonna happen. But that's the total opposite.
It is. That is just, you know what?
That's not true.
What I actually noticed is when I was having conversation and I was looking for somebody to have this conversation with for the YouTube channel, I had conversation with a lot of women who also said that their parents never spoke about it because they felt as if that if they had the conversation with the girls or the boys, then it's almost as if giving permission to say, you know, go forth and discover. But at the same time, I feel as if with African people not having these type of conversations, that's why you see that there are young girls or little boys who are being raped and they don't know who to talk to or, you know, express about how they feel or somebody hurt them because there's no, they haven't been given that environment.
You're kind of breaking up. I'm not hearing you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Like you were breaking up. I wasn't hearing you very much.
Okay, sorry about that. So what I'm saying is, you know, there are a lot of young girls and boys who are being raped or made feel uncomfortable by adults, some family members, some, you know, people in the community, and at home they don't have the environment to go and openly tell their parents that this happened to me, that happened to me, because we don't have these kind of conversations, you understand? And also when I was having a conversation with this other girl, she said to me that she knows 4 girls who drank Jeek, you know, like bleach, just so that they could abort the baby.
Yeah, that is sad.
Yeah, you know, because there's a lot of girls, even on the internet, a lot of girls die from, you know, from self abortion, because there's always an adult in the community who knows somebody, you know, who can help you. There's always, you know, like a dropout nurse who knows the medications you can use. But like, how can we as the new generation get out of that? Because it's like a generational thing. It's something that's passed down to us. So in your opinion, do you think it's better for people to educate their children, or do you think it's best for people to leave it as it is and let the children discover on their own?
No, I don't. I think it's better to actually talk about it, because people say ignorance is bliss. No, that's bullshit. Ignorance is not bliss.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. It's very, very important, because if you don't talk about it, a child is going to get it from the secondary socialization. So it's like, you as their primary socialization, you should give them that education that they need, or they're going to go get it from somebody else. How are you sure that the information they're going to get from somebody else is going to be good information? So I think it's very, like, I'm not mad at our parents and our grandparents, because what they did is what they knew. You're not anything better than what you don't know, to be honest. Like, you only talk about what you know.
Of course.
So that's what they knew. And I just want our generation to do better than our parents. And doing better than our parents is basically making sure your child is comfortable enough to tell you about their first kiss, about the first guy that they like, or how their body is changing and how they're feeling about it, and what they want to do and things like that. I think as parents, we should give our children the opportunity to be comfortable to say that. We should teach them. Like my auntie was talking to my 12-year-old cousin, and she was telling my 12-year-old cousin that her vagina is called Tin Tin. And I was so upset. I'm like, why?
What's a Tin Tin?
Why? Like, exactly. I'm like, that's not what it's called. I'm like, a vagina is just like the eye, it's just like the nose. You tell your kids your eyes is for seeing. Why can't you call a vagina what it is? A vagina, penis, sex is not a bad word. Breast, but they're not bad words. They're part of the body, and they should be talked about. They're not bad words. So I think we should talk to people about it. It's not encouraging them to do it. I think it's even a better way to say, okay, this is what sex is. As a parent, I don't want you having sex before this specific age, or before you understanding this, or before you falling in love because of this reason. Like, explain to them why. Give them the reason why. Even me as a grown adult, if you tell me to do something without telling me the reason behind it, I am going to do it because I want to figure out what the reason is.
Of course.
So it's very important to tell people the reason behind why they shouldn't be doing something, especially as kids. If not, their minds are going to wander and stuff like that. When I was growing up, my mom did not talk to me about sex either, but I was very exposed. I read a lot of books. I am an avid reader, and I've been that since I was a kid. I've always read. So I would read books, so I knew about this stuff even before I even started seeing my period, even before I even know what feelings was or sex was. I saw it, or in movies and stuff like that. I read about it in books. I knew about it. So it's like, it didn't really matter to me if my parents spoke to me about it and stuff like that. And I kind of already knew that parents don't talk to kids about it and why they don't talk to kids about it.
Wow.
So I was already in the known of all of those stuff at a very young age. So I could take care of myself. But not everybody is like me or was like me. So parents should actually give kids the opportunity to understand what all of this stuff is, because it's very, very confusing as a child growing up. Like, I had friends who did not understand, and they got their education from me.
Oh, wow.
You can imagine. And like, at that time, I didn't know everything. I knew what I read from the books, and that's what I told them.
Yeah.
And imagining those books were not even proper education, and some of them were not really proper education. Like, looking back now, I'd be like, dang, that book said that. That's such a lie. You know what I mean? Just like, if we had legit parents conversations, parents that knew what they were talking about told us, I wouldn't have given some of my friends false information that I read from books that gave me false information. You understand what I mean? So like, we should not hide it for them. We should not call penis ding ding or vagina ting ting. What the heck is that? Or like, after you see your period and you touch a guy, you get pregnant. What kind of nonsense is that?
I mean,
like,
they told me that too.
It's so stupid. Like, it's crazy.
But you know
like,
what?
We need to
it's actually so true, because I mean, looking at it now, like in South Africa, there's a lot of teenage pregnancy, you know, and there's also a lot of like of people living with HIV and AIDS because they are not educated, you know, and people, like young girls, get to a point where they feel as if, you know, their vagina is this, I don't know, is this amazing thing that everybody wants, you understand? So therefore they start sleeping with men for their own gains, you know, because I mean,
money and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You understand. But I feel as if we could just, I mean, think about it. If your aunt is calling a vagina a ting ting, she's not the only one, you know? There's a lot of people out there, but how do you then correct people with mindset as your aunt? You know, how do you try then to make her see, or make her, to bring some realization to her that by her not calling a penis or a vagina could actually, it won't be beneficial to the child?
Yeah, so when my aunt actually said that, I was like, you realize that she's gonna go out there and somebody else is gonna tell her, someone that wants to take advantage of her is gonna tell her like, oh, your mom lied to you, it's not called tintin, it's called vagina, and it's and if I put my stuff in it, it will feel really good and you will like it and stuff like that. But because she has not heard her mom said that, and then the person shows her proof that it's not really called thing, it's called a vagina, she will believe everything that's coming out from that person that's trying to take advantage of her. And that's how people get raped, and that's how people get taken advantage of, because they did not know the truth, and then they see this person that's telling them the truth, and they naturally, we get attracted to that person that is treating them like an adult. Kids don't like to be treated like kids. Kids like to be spoken to like they are valued, like they're respected. And then if they see someone that respect them and value them by telling them the truth, they'll be more attracted to that person and listening to everything that person have to say, even though what the person have to say are lies. So you doing that to your child, you're just giving your child an opportunity to go find the information somewhere else. And if that information is not great, they're gonna get taken advantage of. And when I told my auntie that, like she was like, yes, now that's why I would tell her not to talk to strangers, not to talk to this. I'm like, it really doesn't change anything, because at the end of the day, you tell people something, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take it. Kids, they have a mind of their own. True. No matter how we think about their kids are stupid, they can't think for themselves. They still think for themselves, even though it's a bad decision that they're making. It's still thinking for themselves. Like, you're not sure that everything you tell your child is going to stay in them.
Of course.
It's not supposed to. They're going to think about, they're going to filter it, and they're going to take what they want to take out of it. So how about you tell your child the correct thing? So even though while they're trying to filter it, they still know it's fact. No matter where they go, it would always be the fact. Like, someone would not deprive them from it. It's like going to the market in Nigeria, and I know that a tuber of yam is $20, and because I know that's the fact, someone cannot cheat me. You can't tell me it's now $100. Are you mad? Like, are you stupid? Excuse me.
Lost your mind?
Like, I know that's what it is. Like, no matter where I know, you know that's the fact. Like, that's why it's important. Like, I told her, I'm like, you need to educate your child. Like, your child needs to be aware. Like, it's power. It's a weapon. And the moment I told her it's a weapon, she was like, oh, yeah. I'm like, why are you even sending your child to school? Is it not to learn new things, to be educated, to have information? This is part of the education. Sex is not a bad thing. Sex is only a bad thing when it's done wrong. And when it's done wrong in sense of like STDs and pregnancy and not even enjoying it, pain and all of those stuff, that's when it's wrong. And doing it with the wrong person or doing it at the wrong time and things like that, that's when it's wrong. But sex as a whole is not wrong. Even religiously, it's not wrong. Like, you guys are making it wrong by not informing your child, by not telling your child what it really is. That is the problem. So anytime I see, and you know me on Instagram, and I'm an advocate of letting people know that what they're saying is rubbish if it's rubbish. Like, yes, have your opinion, though. Nobody's saying don't have your opinion. But when your opinion is not associated with the fact that the word needs, then I'm going to say something to you. So I feel like we as modern women or modern generation that know this stuff, when you see things like that, do not mind your business. Actually try to correct that parent, that other person, or even the child in the most loving and most respectful way ever. Absolutely. Don't just be like, oh, you're so dumb, you're so stupid for thinking like that. No, it's not their fault. They don't know better. They don't know better, but try to correct them in the most loving, in the most respectful way, so they can do better. Like, that's why we're a society. We're supposed to learn from each other and help each other grow. Like,